Hello Internet gamers, my name is Ramen and Vitamins, and today I want to show you the Wolverine Ultimate Controller. Specifically, I want to show you why you should not, repeat not, under any circumstances purchase this controller. Do not buy it. It is defective, and I believe it's defective by design. This is my second one. I bought one new, I had problems. I returned it for another new one, same problems exactly. So I really think that this is a flawed design rather than a defective unit. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Over here in the other panel, I've got just the standard Windows joystick control panel where you can move your sticks around, you can push your buttons, and you can see what input the computer's receiving. So, as you can probably guess, I'm going to show you that this thing is not faithfully translating your physical inputs into signals to the PC. And I suspect this would be the same for an Xbox, but I don't own one, so I can't say for sure. At any rate, what really convinced me to buy this controller was these back buttons. I play Rocket League, and I use the back buttons for boost and for power slide, and I just really got used to that with the Steam controller. Another controller you should never ever use, for Rocket League at least. Anyway, these back buttons are great. You know, they're so much better than the Elite, the Xbox Elite controller. You don't hit them accidentally, but when you want to hit them, they're right there. I was so excited when I got this home and plugged it in. But unfortunately, it's just not good, and let me show you why. See this button here, labeled M3? This is one of the 4 back buttons that are extra. I can click it in and out, and you can see button number 4 on the control panel lighting up and turning off. Okay, so let me just tell you what I think is going on here before I show it to you. These back buttons can be remapped to take the place of any other standard input on the controller. So that means that there must be some little chip, some tiny little computer in here that receives a signal that says, hey, Ramen pressed M3. So he's got that mapped to number 4, so I should send a number 4 signal. Ramen just released M3, so I should stop sending the 4 signal, right? And I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But the problem is that when it receives a bunch of those in the same moment, it just throws some of them away. Watch this. I'm going to push all 6 of these remappable extra buttons in at the same time. I'm going to do it slowly so that we don't cause a problem here. And you can see 6 signals lit up, right? 1, 2, 4, 7, 9, 10. Okay. Now, look at that. I released them simultaneously, and the 10 is still there. And you can see I'm not touching the controller, but it's still sending that 10 signal, and it's gonna send that 10 signal until I touch the button that corresponds to that and let it up. And now it stops. So, now look at this. The 1 is supposed to be lit up, but it's not. I'm holding it down. Wait, I messed that up, but that is something that happens. And I'll show it to you. Whoop, okay, there it left the 2 on. There it left the 10 on. Okay, look at this. I've got all 6 buttons held down very firmly, and yet I only have 5 buttons lit up. Number 7 is supposed to be lit up, but it's not. That's this button. Yeah, that button works, but it wasn't working then. So when you get a bunch of inputs in the same moment, I think the processor just handles one of them and forgets about the rest, which is obviously terrible. This most often manifests for me in Rocket League as my power slide sticking. So I'll be trying to make a play and I'm sliding all over the floor and it just screws everything up. The other issue, this is actually the one I noticed first. I'm going to push the M3 in, and I'm going to lessen the pressure. I'm going to ease up a little bit, but I'm not actually clicking the button out. It's still clicked in, but look at that. It's like flickering, and now I'm going to let it out. So you can have the button pushed all the way in, but the input will be flickering on and off. And so this happens to me a lot in Rocket League with my boost. I'll be boosting through the air, and I'll be holding the button in, but my car will be going boost flickering on and off. I've found that if I push it right at the edge here rather than up near the hinge, it behaves better, but I really should not have to be doing that, right? This controller is marketed to gamers who are willing to pay $150 for a controller. And it really ought to do the basic function of translating button presses into inputs and not button presses into not inputs. This controller does not do that. You should not buy it. If you've already bought it, you're not going crazy if you've noticed these things. And I recommend that you do what I'm about to do, which is contact Razer and demand my money back. I don't want another controller like this. I love it physically, but it doesn't control. So I'm going to be demanding my money back from them, and I think everybody who's purchased one of these should do the same thing. And if you're in the market for a controller, I hope that I have saved you from wasting your time and money on this one. Thanks for watching, and if you have any information to add or questions to ask, you can do it in the comments. Peace.